zombie flicks?
Wow, yeah, I like all George Romero stuff. I like Return of the Living Dead just for the score alone. I love that soundtrack to that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of a whole bunch. But didn't we see that thing? I'm curious who won, but the thing, the zombies versus vampires on like Monster Hunters or vampire? Fucking hell, really? Right, where they stab the zombies with their eyeliner.
I don't know if they were quite those vampires. Next question. That was great. No questions? Come on, guys. Yes?
Are they worried that the Sharks can catch up and figure out the
No. I mean, you know,
they stray away from each other a lot.
They really go off track with the, you know, and they come back and,
yes.
You know, but it'd be boring if everybody knew what was going to happen immediately, you know. But there's so much there, you know. It's you know, for me going from here to the bathroom is like 3 hours. You know what I mean? They stretch it out. You know? So I don't think they're ever going to like run out of source material.
When you read the comics, you say you still read the comics.
Yeah,
I think that Kirkman's writing plays out like a film, and I think that's why there's so much, why people care. I don't know if you guys read the comics, I hope you do. There's so much drama, but yet you care about the character, so when the character ends up dead, it actually affects you a little bit more, and I think that's, you know, do you feel the same way when reading the comics?
I like your tattoos.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Make sure somebody tweets that, please.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but the artwork around the characters, just like as far as just even the characters' expressions and stuff. Like, we have such a good crew and a group of cinematographers and, you know, all our gaffers and grips. Everyone's so into it. So every frame of this show looks like a painting, you know. And it's just, it brings you into this world. Even Atlanta, like the heat of Atlanta, and, you know, sweating and it's a character on the show, so, you know.
And it almost has a gray scale to it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's, especially this season, like, you really see, everyone physically has changed. Wow. Everyone physically has changed quite a bit since last season, just being out there and, like, sweating and starving, and everyone's, like, bruised and cut up, and you can feel it on everyone. So, you know, what Robert's done with that world, it's even if it wasn't as much there in season 1, season 2, it's really there. So, yeah, he painted a pretty picture for us to play.
Next question. Yes, sir.
Which did you think was more physically demanding on you? The acting in Boondocks or the acting in your series?
You know, well, Walking Dead, the first time I even met the cast was me walking on going, we can cut off that meat around that the zombies ate on that deer, and looking into their faces and looking at me like a moron. But that's when I met them, and that same day is when, you know, I throw the squirrels at Rick, and I'm trying to stab him and all that stuff, and, you know, Shane knocks me over, and they both, like, tackle me to the ground and all that, and I went back to the hotel that first day, and I had whiplash. I couldn't lift my head, and not only that, my back was just completely bruised and scratched up. It was like I couldn't even lay on it. So maybe Walking Dead, but Boondock Saints, I ripped a muscle tendon or whatever in my shoulder just with those fucking guns. Like, so honestly, like they would. There's so many shots of us like this on Boondock that I would have one arm down and they'd count me down, and I'd swing the gun into place and be like, you know, so that hurt, you know. But maybe Walking Dead, just because it's, you know, I mean, on movies, like, you have some time to get into your character, talk about your character, you can have a fucking latte and make some phone calls, and then you have like an hour over you. On TV, you're like, you know, boom, 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 it moves much faster. So maybe Walking Dead. Yeah, and it's hot as hell.
Yes, sir.
You like the movie with John Carpenter and Max the Bar?
I love John. Yeah, like I would do a dog food commercial for John. He's one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. Like really, I mean, I have stories I can tell you about John, but I'm not gonna tell you. But one of the coolest fucking guys ever. I want to be John Carpenter. Yeah, I love him. He's great.
Next question. Yes.
Flannery talks about you having issues getting on top of
Well, you gotta understand with Flannery, like, he's such a showboat that his stories like go from this to this to this, and when I'm not in the room, they're like the size of the room. You know what I mean? So I just let him have his moment in the sun. You know what I'm saying? The horse in Boondock 2 terrified me. I will not lie. I was scared to death. More of a motorcycle guy than a horse guy. But being on The Walking Dead, I have a lot of horse stuff in season 2, and I've gotten very good on the horse stuff. I can do all the horse shit on the horse. I mean, I did the conspirator in Savannah before I went and did in Atlanta the first season, and I had horse stuff on that was even worse than the horse stuff on Boondock 2. And like I mean, I've told this story before, but there was a shot of actor horse, and I'm in the front with a gun, and I'm screaming all this shit, and the horse is jumping up, and it looks like with the camera there that I'm going crazy and know what I'm doing. It's just bullshit. But then the camera went a profile shot, and my horse kept trotting backwards into frame. Right? And I'm like, I don't know what it's doing. And then I have a gun. I'm like, I'm sorry. And then take 5. Sorry. You can hear Robert Redford going, God damn it, someone hit Norman's horse. And getting up and walking off into the woods, furious. So I was like, the dude that played John Wilkes Booth, I was like, I'm dead, he's not fine. Which thank God he didn't. But that was worse.
Next question. Get some new people in. Anybody have a question? Yes.
What was it like working with Wesley Snipes on Blade 2?
It's dope. Yeah. He's, I mean, he gets a bad rap, but that guy, all that karate, martial arts stuff, that's really him doing it. He's cool as shit. And I remember one night I had a bit of a late night, and when you're partying in Prague and you don't have to be at work the next day, somehow you find yourself on the Moldau on the river, like on a boat with the sun coming up. And I remember getting a phone call. Wesley twisted his ankle, and I was like, wow, I gotta come to the set. I'm like, I'm on the boat. You know what that means? I'm on the boat, and I haven't slept. And I remember Wesley going on the set and we going, right before Guillermo Hale's action, I'm like, do I look fucked up? And he's like, no, do I look fucked up? And I'm like, no, you look good. He's like, you look good. Action and great effects, right? And he's fun, yeah. And I mean, he travels with a giant posse of people, and he's a blast, you know. And I remember like hitting Chris Christopherson, and I was like, I really like Chris, and I didn't want to hit him, and I felt bad being mean to him. And Wesley's like, no, dude, hit him like you hate him. You hate him. You know, and he's fun to work with. I really like Wesley.
Next question. Anyone? Yes.
Did you have any training with guns on Boondock Saints, or did you just kind of go out there and improvise?
We went straight from the airport with our bags to the gun range on that movie, and we spent a lot of time at the gun range. But even before we went there, Troy lives in California and Sean lives in California, and I was in California meeting with them, and we would go to Troy's house, and Troy would just pull out his home arsenal and take them all apart, put them all back together, and like we did that for hours. So and then we did lots of gun range stuff. So. And I've done guns in other films, so I wasn't too afraid. But yeah, we got a lot of training. Yeah.
Next. I'll ask you a question. What was your opinion of season 1 when you looked at the special effects? Was there anything that you might have saw in person that you were like, it doesn't look that good, that you were blown away when you saw it on camera? Or was there anything that you saw in person that you were simply blown away by?
I was blown away. The first zombie I ever met was Greg in makeup as a zombie. And I didn't recognize him at all.
He was on the deer day, right?
Yeah, he's the guy I should have had. The thing about that show is like, you see zombies walking by with like a Slim Jim in their hand. Like, what's up, Norman? You know what I'm saying? So you're like, okay, whatever, right? And then they yell action, and it all is going down. And they train them how to walk like zombies,
right.
And they all get into it. So. As far as like the special effects, the makeup and stuff like that, I'm blown away all the time, and then I'm really blown away into it when we're rolling, So I've never, actually, some of the stuff in season 2 will blow you away.
That's awesome.
It will blow